SummerSlam 2021. I mean, everybody, I think this is probably the most anticipated pay-per-view of this year other than WrestleMania. I mean, well, you could say Royal Rumble, but I think Vince and the whole company really put everything into this pay-per-view or this event. I am here as always when we're talking wrestling. I'm here with Sandra. How's it going?
Good, you?
Good, good. I mean, good so far.
Yes.
We are gonna break down a lot of the matches. We're gonna give you our overall thoughts, our overall review of the events. So I want to do it in order with the matches they presented. But however, and before I get into it too, I want to give shout outs to Marvel Albert. You know, Albert, who always is jumping with me on the Marvel reviews. He was actually at the event last night in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. So he was able to go live at SummerSlam. I know he was super excited. He was very, and you got to remember now they have, I think, events in Allegiant Stadium. It might be just for NFL events. I'm not quite sure. But you do have to have proof of vaccination. But I think that's only for the NFL season that's coming. I'm not quite sure for that SummerSlam event last night. So that's a kind of a big deal because that they're moving along with that. But I want to give shout outs to him. So Sandra, as I want to go in order, but I have to address the absolute lunacy that it was. I had the high and then it immediately went to the low. And I will let you know right now. So if you haven't seen SummerSlam, of course, there's going to be spoilers in this cast. I will let you know right now. So Albert was at SummerSlam, and I told him months, like, if Becky Lynch didn't return so and so, she's going to return at SummerSlam. I texted him when Bianca Belair, or when Bianca Belair comes into the ring, and and then we're waiting for Sasha Banks, and they say Sasha Banks can't make it. Something's going on, and they bring in I forget the wrestler's name. Do you remember the wrestler's name that came out that replaced Sasha Banks?
Yeah, it was Carmella.
Carmella, the gorgeous Carmella. She comes in, and I immediately sent a message to Albert. I was like, Becky Lynch question mark question mark question mark. She's gonna come out. And once Carmella gets into the ring, Bianca is on the mic a little bit. We hear the man's theme music. And I'm like, I called it. And I'm hyped because that's my girl, Becky Lynch. I love Becky Lynch. I think I actually got back into WWE because of Becky Lynch and some of the women in the women's division. And then it went to some of the men. But Becky Lynch returns. Sandra returns. She's here to save WWE. CM Punk and AEW the other day, they're like, how are we going to make this night special? Let's bring in Becky Lynch. She's looking good. She's looking at, I think she's looked a little bit more thinner to me. She's coming in. She's got that red hair. She's red. I'm like, oh man, what's going to happen? And I thought Sasha Banks might have come out later on and maybe we'd get like a 4-way match. She takes out Carmella. So I'm like, okay, it could still be a triple threat match, or I'm feeling that intensity. I'm feeling that atmosphere. It's Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair. Either it's going to be a call out or it's actually going to be a match. And then when she's like, I want to take you on, I was like, oh yeah, I feel this atmosphere. And Bianca Belair, I am a fan of Bianca. I think she's a fantastic wrestler. Her mic skills is getting better. But I could feel that you have that moment, and you feel that moment, and I haven't felt that since maybe Stone Cold versus The Rock. I'm not saying the two are in the level, but the atmosphere and just the overall, you want to see this moment happen, and it happens. But Bianca's going for what, a handshake, and then Becky does this, like, just picks her up, kind of like a rock bottom type move, and then you're like, and it's not even her like finisher at all or anything like that. She hits her. I think it took like 20 seconds, and she wins the belt. Becky wins. She squashes the writers on WWE. I have no clue what the hell they're thinking. they pretty much you talk about squash on Kofi. On Kofi, this was a squash on Bianca, and I don't care if I know some people don't like Bianca, but that was no way to handle that. And everybody in the comments, everybody out there is saying, dude, how can you ruin a Becky Lynch return? It never felt justified. It didn't feel right. Becky, I understand, had to vacate her title because of her pregnancy. I get that. But I'm telling you right now, nobody would come out and agree to that. Stone Cold wouldn't agree to that. I don't think Undertaker would agree to that. To squash a young up and comer, it's business. People would be like, let's build this. You don't even have to make a match. Or you could at least done 3 minutes. And I know Becky has just come back. She might be a little rusty, but 3 minutes. 3 minutes, or just to set up a match in the future to call out Bianca. To squash her like that was disrespectful, was absolute. It made absolutely no sense. And a lot of people point this out. A lot of people will say, well, they're probably going to set up something later. They're going to build this. WWE writers usually forget about that crap. They actually don't build upon it. So Bianca could be wrestling somebody completely different. And Sasha can come into the picture and actually go against Becky. And we're going to talk about later on another match on why this is absolutely atrocious for the company, and it makes it you can't move forward. That's why Vince is probably going to sell this company, because what the hell was that all about? Sandra, I know you are as disappointed in this turn of events as much as and I love Becky Lynch, but the high went so low, and I felt I couldn't feel happy for her return because of this scenario. So what is your thoughts on this?
So, to give you a picture of how I felt like when you take a bottle of champagne, you shake it, you unpop it, and then it goes flat. That's exactly how I felt last night.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful analogy right there.
I love Becky. I was excited. I'm like, you know what? And to be honest, I would have rather have the whole Bianca, Becky, face-to-face, talking about it and set up the next pay-per-view than what happened last night. It was a disrespect, totally disrespect for Bianca as an athlete, like you said. That was not even. I know, like you said, she vacated her belt to go for a pregnancy leave, but she didn't vacate the SmackDown one. She vacated the Universal's Raw one.
Okay,
so that doesn't even make any sense whatsoever.
So is she on SmackDown now?
Well,
that's what everybody's saying.
Well, she has to be on SmackDown, but then, so you're gonna get again the whole, and that's what I think is gonna happen, is that, you know how they bring some superstar very, very high, and then they go to the peak, and then you don't see them at all? So now you're gonna have the whole thing, and then where is gonna Bianca go now? Because Sasha wants the belt. So, to be honest, I didn't like it at all. I was disappointed. I'm like, you are just frustrating your fan base, because at one part, I'm a fan of Becky, and I had a friend like you that was at the event yesterday, and he was all excited. And then we talked on Twitter, and he says, you know what? I didn't want her to win the belt like that. No, I didn't want her to. You know what? I don't even understand what's going on. And if it was just a whole like setup, Sasha not showing up, okay, that's fine. But do not do a disrespect. Don't do a going back 10 years ago when you left. You just give 2 seconds to the divas to wrestle. That's going backwards. I do not understand what it was, and disappointed of what I saw yesterday. It's not even a word that I would use.
Well, I mean, I don't understand. So, if anybody's confused, I don't think Sasha Banks was hurt or anything like that. I think that was part of the storyline to make the big reveal even more big and, you know, to throw some wrenches in the match and all that stuff. Why not just have the damn match? Why not have Sasha versus Bianca and then Becky coming out? Whoever's the winner on that.
But to your point, Dan, do you think even Sasha was happy with that? I don't think so. I
Maybe,
don't
you know
think
what?
Sasha
Maybe,
agreed to
yeah.
this.
Maybe she wasn't happy and she threw a fit and she's like, I'm not going out there. Maybe. I just absolutely couldn't believe how the squash. I just couldn't believe it. Even if they didn't have time to do a proper match, we'll get rid of the other shit.
Oh
Get
my
rid of some of
God.
the segments in this event.
Exactly.
There's a thing called editing, people, in movies. They needed to edit the hell out of this event. That means taking some stuff out that was absolutely not needed to give time
Useless.
to some of these matches,
Useless.
because we're going to talk about some of these matches and how kind of short they were. And some of the matches were way too long and there wasn't even the match. I'll get into there's another gripe I have we'll get into, but I mean, I don't know how they could ruin Becky Lynch's return. I don't know how Becky could to actually, go off on that. She has all the cards. She has power because guess what? She's probably the biggest name right now in the WWE. You saw that with the pop that she got in the crowd. Wasn't I don't think it was CM Punk level, but it was pretty damn loud. It was pretty great. Because I think everybody knew she was gonna come back like me on SummerSlam. I just, she has that authority to say, nah, that's the fans. I mean, maybe she's not a very creative person like that, and she didn't know the fan reaction was gonna be just like that. I think in the long run, nobody's gonna care. But at this second, I care. Like I just absolutely care. In the long run, if WWE doesn't get sold, I think people will be all is good in the world. Becky is back. You'll probably get a Becky and Bianca somewhere down the line, or maybe they will capitalize on a rivalry. But then you got Sasha Banks in question. You got a lot of these stars that are gonna jump out of the WWE and actually go into the film industry. You're already seeing that with The Rock, Dave Batista, also a little bit of Brock Lesnar, but he kind of jumped into the MMA world and he went off and did his own thing. You're seeing that, and John Cena, who came back tonight, and we'll talk about that one too. But you also have Sasha Banks, who was in the Mandalorian. I don't think some people, she was in Mandalorian season 2, so she kind of wants to probably has a little taste of that industry. So Sasha Banks is one of your biggest stars too. And if you don't, she might jump, she might not, she might see, because they get paid more to wrestle. They're not getting paid that much. You have to be a mega superstar and you have to have merchandise. I think they get paid more in merchandise. But anyway, let's address to Carmella. Poor Carmella. Not a lot of people are talking about this, but poor Carmella comes out here and she's just doing her job. They told her just go out there, look pretty, get beat up by the man. Dude, she's just doing her job. But that's disrespect on her too. That's really like why? Like you honestly didn't even need Carmella. You could have had Bianca stand there with the mic and just talk so much trash to Sasha, and then Becky come out. Made no sense. The writing is well, we're gonna get into it. So final thoughts on this. Like I thought it was wrong. I love that Becky's back. I'm definitely gonna watch because Becky's back. I'm intrigued to see what happens now if she's on SmackDown or what the whole case is on that. It's because Raw needs some help bad. Raw is really bad. You go to a lot of YouTubers and they talk. You could see they just don't want to talk about Raw. They don't want to talk about. It's the same. It's the same stick. I hear that Bianca might be taking a couple weeks off. So that's what I hear. That's the rumors. I hope not, but I don't know. I don't know where this is going. They better make a rivalry out of these two because I see. Because if they just squash Bianca after winning the belt at WrestleMania, after her little feud with Sasha, and I love that. I love that segment when they were signing the contract, and she just like goes, she flips over the table and she gets on Sasha and she starts beating her up. That was a great move. Bianca's a great wrestler. I hope something comes. I hope her career just didn't get squashed like that, like Kofi. I just hope. That's my final thoughts on it. What's your final thoughts on this, Sandra?
Yeah. I hate what they're doing, especially with the females. It's like they have so many good superstar in their lineup, and they're destroying their careers like that. And I know we're gonna talk about it after that, but I think they just killed Nikki Ash, Nikki Cross, Nikki, whatever you want to call her. They killed her career last night
Oh yeah,
because where are you gonna go from? Where are you gonna go from there? So I don't know what's in their heads. They did such a good jump from 2016 to now with the the division. Now, if you're gonna go backwards and destroy it, I will be out.
yeah, because Bianca was with others was carrying that women's division, and it
Yeah,
just didn't sit right. She was up in. I don't know what. Yeah, we'll talk about tonight. We're gonna talk about Nikki right now too. We're
yeah,
gonna talk about stars coming back and just absolutely taking over from young talent, which is a big. That's not good. That's absolutely. How are
yeah,
you gonna build the future if you don't if you squash the future?
yep,
Okay, so we're gonna get into these matches. We are gonna start with the first match that was on there. And just to let you know, Sandra, the commentary was it was hit and miss for me. It was the first time kind of listening to Pat McAfee. I'm a big fan of Pat McAfee. Listen to especially with sports and stuff. But man, do I miss like Jerry the King and Jim Ross? Man, do I miss those commentators a lot? Even like Vince McMahon was a not too bad commentator. So let's talk Big E versus Baron Corbin, and in this one, Baron Corbin stole Big E's Money in the Bank case. Big E, I like. I'm not a huge fan of. I know they a lot of people want they want a push for him for a title run maybe. So he's got Money in the Bank. So this one, first of all, I guess before we talk about this match, let's talk about the real quick the look of SummerSlam. So they had like it was they had that kind of like what was it like in New York? New York had that same kind of look to it.
yeah,
With the arena going and because Allegiant Stadium is the stadium is absolutely gorgeous, but I guess there's like a big blue light that people were getting shined on. They were complaining a lot about it. So let's get into Big E. So Big E versus Corbin. Um, the match was okay. I wasn't really I wasn't like oh my god, crazy about it. I knew Corbin was gonna lose. It was just kind of like a throw out there kind of match. I feel like Big E deserved a better match than that. The storyline it was already done at that point. I don't know, the storyline was just like it was just gonna be a one and done kind of thing. So Corbin loses, Big E wins. Not too much about this match. It was just it was not as, thankfully it wasn't as long. I think the big hit was when he does when Corbin's running with the case, and then Big E comes and shoulder tackles him into the rails. But it kind of looked a little goofy. There's some goofy spots in this event we'll get into, but that one a little like he didn't sell it as good. To me, so Big E comes up with the win. What was your thoughts on this match?
Well, I'm not gonna hide. I am not the biggest Baron Corbin fan ever. I never
Ah,
liked him since day one. I don't think he is a wrestler that should be up there and having time compared to others. I should not think he should still be with the company compared to the releases that happened lately.
I'll give you that.
So
Yeah, yeah.
I I don't like it. I don't know how he can actually enjoy the new storyline he's having because it's not making him like any better. But I guess, like he say, talk about me, good or bad, but talk about me. I guess that's what it is for him. Give me a bad storyline, give me a good storyline, as long as you give me something and I'm on TV.
Yeah,
With
there
that
was.
said, I think it was a kickoff show. People were still walking into the arena.
Hmm.
Um,
Most
it
definitely.
is what it is, but I think they could have given something better to Big E. That's for sure.
Absolutely right. Kickoff show. Nothing too crazy. Normal match. Um, I give it a C. Start grading them. I'll give them. I'll give this one a C.
Yeah, I guess I could go with a D plus to my
Okay.
level, but
Okay.
hey,
It wasn't. It wasn't like horrible. It was. It was just
it
a.
wasn't
It was just a
horrible, but
match.
it's like whatever.
And then I do find it funny though with Corbin how he's always like he's looking for money and all that stuff. I found that kind of funny, but you can't play that for the long game. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna go from there, and then this match I actually really enjoyed, and that's the tag team championship with you have AJ Styles and Amos versus RK Bro. You know, I like it's so goofy but great. Remember Scotty Too Hottie, and Too Cool and all that. That's what
Grandmaster Sexay.
yeah, Grandmaster Sexy, that reminds me of that. With RK Bro, this tag team, Matt, this unique pairing. This was a great match. I thought this one was probably the more entertaining out of it. I didn't expect a lot, but it actually kind of threw me for a loop a little bit. There's a nice little spots on there, nice little high flying. When Amos gets shoots, I'm forgetting this. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.
Riddle.
Riddle, yes. When he gets Riddle, and Riddle used to be an MMA fighter, by the way, guys, and then he came into. I think everybody knows that, but he's blossoming to a great superstar. I think a lot of people are like getting on him for sure. Like they really root for this guy. But when Amos gets him and then slams him on the side of the ring, that was great. Almost. So I think I agree with everybody. I think they released Braun Strowman because they're investing everything in this Almost guy. I think he's huge. It really took me back in the day with big men like Andre the Giant, The Big Show. I think he is. I think he has potential for sure to be a force to be reckoned. I like him so far. I don't love him, but I like him. And him and AJ Styles. There was great moments too when they were both teams were using like combos, right? They're using each other to affect a move. So there was throughout the whole event there was great high flying spots. But this tag team match really felt fun, refreshing. I liked it. I really enjoyed the hell out of this matchup, and the titles did get changed in this one, and I think rightfully so. I would have pinned that down too. What is your thoughts on this matchup, Sandra?
So I'm a Randy Orton fan. So of
Randy,
course I was looking into that. Like
hmm
I wanted that. But to be honest,
beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mustache and goatee too for Randy.
I actually dig it. I
It's
know
really
a lot
good,
of
right?
people don't. I
Yeah,
dig it.
it's really good. Good look
Uh
for him.
I've been a Randy Orton fan since he was like starting. I have pictures of him before he was a superstar with trunks that he doesn't remember. I met him and I show him one of my first pictures and he says, I don't even remember those trunks. That's how long we're talking about.
So you
And
met Randy,
I did. I met
nice guy.
Randy. Very nice guy. He
He
was
could
very friendly.
he could be mean, but everybody could be mean.
Well, it could be mean if you try to get a picture of him when he's in the bathroom,
Oh yeah,
or like
yeah, yeah.
I met him at a convention,
Good.
so
Yeah.
I was there and he was there for the same reason.
Very
So,
awesome. Very awesome. Me and Randy.
um, so I'm not a fan of Riddle. I'm not gonna hide it. And
I wasn't a fan,
I
but
had a
I think
hard
I'm
time with
growing. I'm growing.
I had a hard time with the whole storyline. But I see the reasoning behind it, and that's where Randy is at his point of his career, is to help the younger kids, the younger superstar, to help them, to elevate them. And I understand that. It's the same thing with AJ. AJ and Omos, they are together because AJ wants to teach Omos how to be a superstar. So those are two veterans with young kids, maybe not an age, but younger
Yeah.
superstar.
Even though AJ doesn't look like a full grown adult, right?
He does
He's a
not.
small guy. It
He
works
hasn't
though
aged the guy.
because he's a high flyer, so he's able to capitalize with almost his size.
Yes.
And it was beautiful, that match. It was, what they did in that match. It was a lot better than a lot of the matches they were doing on just Raw and shit. You know.
And that's why it was the chemistry between those four superstar. That's what worked, because you had like the Riddle, like being like, he is so like obsessed with Randy and to be his BFF and everything. Then he's gonna do everything in his power, even do like imitations of him. And then you have like the AJ that when he's in trouble, he knows that Omos is gonna save him. So the whole match chemistry worked. It
Mhm.
looked good, and the result was very good. I liked it. I think that was one of the best match of the night for sure.
Most definitely, and it was like an early on match.
Yep.
I like Randy. Again, I'm not in love with Randy, but I respect him. He's had a great career, and for some reason, this chemistry with him and Riddle just works. Now, Ian, welcome in. Yeah, when I first got back into WWE, I was like, why does this guy have no boots or shoes on? I do not like that. I get he's like the surfer type or the stoner guy, but why? Um, I've gotten over it. You know, it's not even in my head anymore. It's just Riddle and Randy. But for me, it was like, what? I know other wrestlers, some wrestlers back in the day did not have same thing. They were wrestling with just feet.
Yeah, the
So
Samoas.
yeah, so I mean,
They didn't have any.
but you know, I got over it. I'm tending to like Riddle. When he was coming out with Randy, back in my mind, I'm like, where's this guy career going to be down like 10 years down the line? Because I'm pretty sure he's not going to have the same kind of Riddle that we know. He'll probably change up the character down the line like everybody else does. So I'm curious to see how this guy's future is. AJ Styles, a vet. I know a lot of people love him. He showcased that veteran skills last night, and he's doing a great job with almost. I thought is it almost right?
Well, yesterday I was listening and they kept calling him Omas. So
Omos.
that's why. Yeah.
Okay, Omos. He, I thought he was gonna just stay back, and AJ was gonna do most of the work again in the beginning, but
Yeah.
no, he tagged him right away, and then we got to see, and they were pretty equal to how much action they were getting in the ring. Of course, RKO, boom, match. I think RKO is one of the coolest finishers. I love it. Instead of being a spear, it's an actual finisher that maybe you've seen back in the day, but I like it. He made it his own. The RKO is great, and then the way they could use it with his it's kind of like an Avengers game, and you're getting Captain and Iron Man to team up, and they're doing these combos. Randy and Riddle does these combos, and they do some crazy stuff using RKO too.
RK, bro.
Yeah, RK bro, exactly.
But what I like though is the combination between Randy and AJ. Like he tried it, didn't work. He escaped,
Yeah.
he jumped, and then when AJ went for the final, that's when he got caught of the RKO. So
Hmm.
that is what makes the whole thing, is the combination of moves that brings it up to one thing, and it was the ending for AJ.
He's no Jimmy. Nobody could be Jimmy Snuka. Jimmy Snuka was. It's kind of like nobody could be Pac. Nobody can be Tupac. There's only one. You could pay homage, but there's only one. So yeah, I'm gonna give this match a solid. Thinking about the other matches, I'm gonna give this match a solid B plus. Solid B plus.
Same here. I
It,
agree with you on that match.
it was a very entertaining match, and it was a lot. I just didn't expect it to be as good as it was. So
It
really good.
was
And
a it was a great starting pay-per-view match.
it's a good start for a new tag team too. Great
Yes.
start. Yeah, I don't know where AJ and Almost is gonna go. I'm pretty sure they're gonna stick together for a little bit, and then I'm assuming they want to like do singles now, later on. So, oh god,
You're gonna make me cry now.
uh,
It is very it's yes, yes. We
um,
have to talk about it, so we will talk about it, but it will not be a half an hour conversation.
no, it's not. So I love Alexa Bliss. She's cute as hell. I love her wrestling style. I love her back in the day. I hate her gimmick now. I hate the stupid doll. Eva Marie is one of the worst wrestlers I've ever seen. She is terrible on the mic. She is terrible in the ring. She has what, Dewdrop is her name? Oh, it
Yes.
was this match was so stupid. This is an F. This is an F,
Is
Sandra.
there anything lower than F?
F minus. This match
And
was
you know what? You know
oh,
one thing that I was stunned, not just to bring up your boy Stone Cold Steve Austin, I was stunned by the fact that Pat McAfee actually read the poster that you could see behind that says that Eva Marie was worse than a airport tuna salad sandwich or whatever, something like that.
oh, did he did read that, didn't he? Yeah.
He did read. I was stunned because I'm like, usually the posters that are like negative, they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But he pointed it out, and for somebody that actually you're reading, putting down one of the superstar,
Yeah.
I was stunned that he actually
Well,
said that.
that's what I love about Pat McAfee. He don't care. He doesn't care. That's why he's a hit and miss for me. I think when he's calling matches, he needs more knowledge on the matches, and I think there needs to be a little bit more dynamic with. It was it Michael Cole, right? He was
Michael
with Michael
Cole.
Cole, and Michael Cole's been in the game for a while, but they want him to leave because he's
I
been
bet,
botching a lot.
but I bet you Vince was yelling at Pat McAfee for what he said
Oh
because
yeah,
that should have not been brought
oh
up on
yeah.
TV.
But Vince should know better. He's the one that brought him in,
I
so.
know, but he probably didn't think that he would read a poster that was freaking like a sign that was putting down somebody of your superstar.
Even Marie needs to hear that shit. Because
Well,
even
even Marie needs
Marie,
to go.
oh man, I don't know. Okay, let's just get into the match. So we got the doll placed on the turnbuckles again. Dewdrop doesn't do anything in this match. The finish was so weird. The whole match was really Alexa Bliss doing most of the work, but it wasn't even that long. It wasn't even was it even 3 minutes, honestly? Maybe two and a half. Uh Alexa Bliss's gimmick is I'm done with it's a Harley Quinn. It's a Harley Quinn interpretation, and it's not working for me. I don't need you to be Harley Quinn. I need you to be Alexa Bliss. I need I don't I Eva Marie is
Needs to go.
needs to go. I'm just trying to think of so the finish is Alexa Bliss wins the match. And Dewdrop and Eva have this falling out, but it was executed so horribly. I was so confused by it because Dewdrop starts getting her robe, says and Eva Marie is the loser, and I'm just like, okay, but they didn't do anything to set up this like this separation good enough. I'm just like sitting there confused. Like, okay, I guess.
No,
Like,
well, it's because if you blink, you missed it. Because Monday, Eva Marie slapped Dewdrop in the
okay,
face,
yeah, and they
but
recap that.
that was like 6 days ago.
Exactly. You got to do
Mm,
something in the match. You got to do something that makes Dewdrop. I don't know.
So
Dewdrop does something else. This is
let
stupid.
me let me tell you what I think. Eva Marie should go. She has no place in the WWE.
I don't know why she's
Alexa
there.
Bliss. Alexa Bliss was always a villain, a heel. Leave it as is. She's great at that. And bring her back with actual wrestling competition on the ring. Bring her back to where she was before.
Has Alexa Bliss really wrestled in these last months? Because it feels like she doesn't really
Last
wrestle
year.
anymore.
Last
Doesn't.
year. It's been a year.
It's been a year. Jesus.
Well, more than a year because she stopped wrestling when they separated her from Nikki Cross and she got like brainwashed by Bray Wyatt, and that was like at the it was in COVID at the beginning of COVID because it was when they were at the performance center. So that we're talking like almost 18 months now.
Yeah,
So
and why it's not even there anymore. So the doll gimmick doesn't make any like it doesn't need to be in the storyline. I don't
no,
like it. It's
no,
very
I don't like
stupid.
it either.
You
But
it could have worked back in the day because back in the day
she had
the
Bray
suspense of
Wyatt.
imagination like this is the you can overlook a lot of this. I think it would have worked back in the day.
Her
But today,
character, her character died when Bray Wyatt left.
yeah. So make another damn character and please stop doing the Harley Quinn stuff. Do something. I know she loves her cosplay. I know she loves her stuff, but stop it. Just stop.
Yeah.
They need this. They need to squash it already. Um.
And let me just bring Dewdrop. I watched her in NXT England.
Uh huh.
She is a fabulous wrestler, but they are ruining her. Like when WWE is perfect to ruin careers. I can tell you that much. They can make you really good, or they can ruin you.
Well, did you see?
Dewdrop.
Did you see when Dewdrop when the split happened and Dewdrop's doing all this stuff? The crowd was silent. They did not care. You didn't hear anything. You didn't hear a pop. You didn't hear like, oh
Why,
yeah, like
why do you think that? Because they put her with Eva Marie.
exactly. It's
That's
terrible.
that's exactly. But you know what? She would be awesome to wrestle against Nia Jax because they're both with the same physical aspect.
I don't like.
Bring
Don't
her.
get me started on Nia Jax.
Well,
Do
no, but
not get me started on her.
okay. I don't like her either. But that's what I'm telling you. They don't know how to put people together.
They don't know how to book. Exactly. They don't know how to book.
Here we go. We're on
That
the same line now.
they don't know
Know how to book.
They let's get out of here. So
Let's
listen,
get out of here.
Eva Marie.
It was
I
a
think
minus F.
she will be fired soon.
I hope so.
I think she'll be fired soon. She's just not good enough. There's some people who are wrestlers, and there's some people that just can't.
It's not good enough. She's not good, period.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. All right. We're gonna move on.
Move on.
F minus on that match. That was a terrible match. Luckily, it wasn't as long.
But you know what? Hold on. Take that 10 minutes between all the presentation and the walking and blah blah blah. Put that 10 minutes into Becky and Bianca.
Yep.
You would have at least made people happy on that, but we're not going back to this. Let's move on to
Take
Sheamus.
that shit out. Take that shit out.
Sheamus and Damian Priest.
Yeah, okay, that's the next one. Okay, so this one. Okay, Sheamus and Damian Priest.
Yeah, sorry.
Damian Priest. Okay, Sheamus and Damian Priest. Damian Priest is up on a rise. A lot of these WWE superstars, it's just I'm not feeling them. I'm not feeling their look or just they just don't have that wow factor. It all seems the same to me. Damian Priest is kind of one of them. Sheamus, I actually really like him as a villain. He's every time I see this guy wrestle, I'm like, my God, is this guy pale? My God, you're gonna see a lot of red marks on his body tonight. So the match overall overall, I enjoyed it, but there was a lot of like slow movements. It seemed like there were not botches, so to speak, but it wasn't very fluent. A lot of their counters, a lot of their movement, a lot of their moves, it just wasn't very fluent. It wasn't like you could see the the fakeness of it a little bit.
But
The only
I think to bring that up, I think Damien really hurt himself when he botched his flying move.
exactly, I think that really happened.
Yeah,
You see it clearly. He's really holding his back. He's holding his back for a good
yeah,
about 6 minutes. I think he get the momentum and the gets to like he's able to like keep going.
yeah,
But yeah, you could really and you see Sheamus too. Sheamus is kind of looking at him like, oh shit,
yeah.
like So I think he did really get hurt, which is unfortunate, but that shit happens. So the match itself, I think you have to account to that he really did. I really did think he got hurt. So I'm not gonna really ridicule this match because they did their best with it. Sheamus still was able to do some of his moves. Damien definitely did a lot of his moves. I was wondering if he was able to be a high flyer after that move he did, and he was still able to capitalize. Maybe he could have done more. But I thought the chemistry was fine. It's a very unique kind of match because it's Damien and Sheamus, and it's kind of like two different kind of styles. I know they were building it up. Of course, they build up the nose injury, and Sheamus had the title, so we had another title change with this one. I know they want to, keep Damian Priest's momentum going. They think he's a future superstar, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the title change. The match was good. I think it could have been a lot better, cleaner, but I think you're absolutely right. I think he did get injured during this match.
Yeah, I think if we would have had 100% him, the match would have been faster. But you
Mm-hmm.
have to give credit to the guy. They did continue. The
Yes.
adrenaline must have kicked in for them to be able to continue because usually when they have injuries like that, they botch very fast the ending, so the match ends right away. They
Yeah.
continued. They did the back and forth with the pinning at the end.
Mm-hmm.
I was very that shows you that the guy gives everything that he had to be
Mm-hmm.
able to perform and be able to do his job as perfect because it's not just him, it's him and Sheamus. Both of them have to do a job. They both have a match. So I think with that injury that we might gonna find out sooner or later, but I think they did enough to actually like save that match.
And it did like pick up more towards the end of it, and it started
Yeah.
getting more entertaining. Uh, because I think what they did beautifully in this event, which I really really liked, was a lot of pins that were kickouts. A lot
Yeah.
of kickouts that were close, beautifully done. This event, it really set the atmosphere, really set the tension of a lot of matches, and this was kind of like the start of it. You had Sheamus. He didn't get the bro kick. It was a knee actually. He didn't get that bro kick, so it was a knee. So towards the end, you got a lot of you got a lot of kickouts. So it's just the momentum really went towards the end. So that's why I think this match was pretty good. They really they did the best they can, and I think they did a hell of a job. I am going to give it though. You know what? I was gonna give it a C plus, but I think I'll give it a B because they did. It really started getting entertaining towards the second half.
Yeah.
I think I just not invested. You got to be invested of the characters, and I'm not invested in Priest. So that's another kind of like, I'm not really looking forward to this match. But they did a hell of a job, so I'm gonna give it a B. It's right there, a low B minus, B minus,
Well, yeah, you just stole my grade. That was my grade, a B minus.
a B minus. That's about right, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Good job on them though. Good job of starting the momentum on those kind of matches. All right, we got the Usos, who are the champs, versus the Mysterios. I do not like Dominic. I don't like.
Okay, that was a good start.
I don't like Dominic. I don't like his look. Um, I don't know why he doesn't wear a mask either. Maybe he did in the beginning. I don't
No,
like
he
it. I
never
don't like
did.
him. I don't
He
like
never
him.
did wear. He never wore a mask.
I don't like him. He does do a good. He did have that one good high flying move. Or was that him? No, 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 no. It was a good. It was a good spot when they push him and he goes into the barracks. Remember, that was good. The Usos, yeah, whatever. The Usos,
Okay.
I'm just not a fan of. There's nothing unique about these guys. Ray, of course, is a legend. Ray is up there. I loved what was it? Did he do? Yeah, was it him? I think I loved his shout out to Eddie Guerrero and his
Yes.
move. That was great. Everybody loves Eddie, and Ray and Eddie. Um, there's a split that's gonna happen between Ray and his son for sure in the storyline. You could
Yeah,
just
I'm seeing this too.
they're setting it up. The match was it was good. It was good. There was nothing too spectacular about it, in my opinion. A lot of these matches, if I don't remember too much of it in my head, then it wasn't that great. This match, a lot of Ray stuff I really loved. Of course, the build where they're dominating Dominic, the whole tag team shtick where they're teasing him, like, go tag on Ray, and they're beating the crap out of him. And then Ray finally gets a tag, and then he goes all out. There was some good spots, though. Like, I like how the Usos really they have great chemistry, of course. How they used double moves, like they used moves, but they worked together on those moves, on the turnbuckles. So the Usos did a great job. Of course, Ray did a good job. Dominic, even though I don't like him, he's an efficient wrestler. There's nothing I see in him where I'm like, ooh, he's not an Eva Marie. He's just kind of boring as a character. I think his character needs to be better. Ray, Ray's up there in age. I kind of want to see him to do I kind of want him to have at least one more singles run. Maybe get a title out of it. That'd be kind of cool. The match was fine. Like I said, there were some good spots on there. The Eddie Guerrero shout out. The Usos working together. Dominic taking a bump, which was great. Ray, he's always good. So I mean, I'm gonna already give this a grade, so I'll give it a C plus.
Okay. Um, I like the Usos.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like the fact that they are now with Roman Reigns.
Yeah,
I
just a little
would have
faction they have.
I don't like that. Leave them as them because they had phenomenal matches when they were them against like the New Day. When they had that cage match at LNSL. I don't I like the Usos, but I just don't understand why some people, and again, I like them, but why some people have passes compared to others that don't. And when I'm bringing this up is like, how many guys are allowed to have 17 DUIs in their career and not getting a slap, and instead you're getting a championship out of it
Roman Reigns,
compared to
baby.
other, and then you have others that they do the littlest thing and they're freaking kicked out. They get fired of the
Mm-hmm.
company.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand that. Why isn't that one rule for all? Everybody went through suspension. Roman went through a suspension. Randy went through several suspensions. A lot of them. What suspension did I think it's Jimmy Uso get for his latest and greatest? And then you have Roman coming back and defending him. Oh, you have to love him. You have to explain to him, okay, he did that 17 times. You would think you learn after that.
It's
But
wrestling politics.
that's nothing to do with the match. The match for me was not exciting. It was just, okay, the tag team has to be on the line, and the Usos, of course, going to keep it because they want the whole Roman family having all the belts around
Yeah,
them.
dude.
So
Just fast forwarding real quick on the Roman Reigns, his entrance. You had the Usos, having the belts high in the air in the background. What a great picture, right? I mean, what a great sight. So, but
yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
so I'm gonna give it a C.
Yeah, Jermaine said Dominic needs more training, though. I honestly don't see Dominic being a superstar at all. As much training as he gets, maybe. I mean, there's always a chance that you can, become he has the ability to be a good wrestler, a great wrestler. I don't know if he can become a superstar though. I just don't see it. I honestly don't see it. Other than is that Ray's real actual son?
Yes.
Then that's the only way That's why.
And I think you have people who are born with it, and others that have to work for it. It's
Hold.
like it's like Randy. Randy comes from like a family of wrestlers. He is the third in line. He is gifted without having to do anything.
Yeah,
When he decided to be a wrestler, he had that gift. So for him, he just had to like soften the edges, but he is a natural. Not everybody who comes from a family of AYZ, like football player, hockey player, soccer player. Not
yeah.
because your father was a legend, you're gonna be a legend.
I'm gonna put a pin right there. I'm gonna bring that what you just said back later on. Okay, so we're moving on from the Usos, and they retain their belts. Okay, makes sense. So Drew McIntyre versus I'm gonna butcher his name. Do you know how to say his name?
Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal. Um, I honestly don't even remember this this match. I just remember he had the sword at the end and he almost swiped him. I don't remember. I was sitting down eating my pizza, and I don't know. My brain went.
Your pizza must have been really good that if you put all your concentration on your
On the
pepperoni on your
pizza.
pizza.
Then the match. I'm not saying it was a terrible match because I saw a little bit of it, but this was definitely a thrown out there match. It wasn't. There was no build really to like there was, but nobody cared. It's not a classic. This was not. Drew McIntyre is a good wrestler. He's great. I actually like Drew. I think if you book him right, he'd be good. I think it's a damn shame he didn't get a title run with the audience.
Yeah, I agree.
So, and especially how when he first started and how he changed so much, this is a way better character than when he first started in the WWE. So Drew McIntyre, I feel for you. You shouldn't be done dirty like this. You should be one of the main events. You should be. I think the what was it, WrestleMania? Him and Sheamus. That was a good match. This match was not
What
very good.
the last WrestleMania was Bobby
Oh no,
Lashley.
no, was it Bobby? I thought it was
Yeah,
Sheamus.
no, it was Bobby
No, no.
Lashley for the belt.
Fastlane was Sheamus. Fastlane
Yes,
was Sheamus. Yes,
yes.
Fastlane. That was an actual entertaining match. That was an entertaining match. This match, I don't even remember it. Someone give it an F. I don't.
Well, I
It
I only
must have. It would have been. I think it was okay, but I'm gonna give it F because I don't
I
even remember it.
I only have one word for you, and it's not part of my grading. Booking.
Yeah, book.
That's it.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. The booking was. Yeah, booking.
Yeah, booking.
So the pin comes out, and I'm gonna. So I know a lot of people are getting sick and tired of Charlotte Flair. I think Charlotte Flair is amazing. I think you talk about genetics. You talk about over. I am like I love Charlotte Flair. I love her abilities. I love her look. I love her theme music. I think she puts in work. I think she earns that check. I think Charlotte Flair is definitely one of the biggest stars in WWE. I think she's one of the best stars in WWE. However, I am not going to disagree where I say her going against Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley and her taking that title is so stupid from the right. It's Tom Brady going to the Super Bowl every single time with the Patriots or with Tampa Bay. Eventually, you're going to get sick of it. You are sick and tired of seeing Tom Brady win. You probably have like him better if he was more humbled down, if he got his ass kicked once in a while. We love Captain America, Steve Rogers type characters, where yes, he's fighting for the little guy, but overall, Captain America he's the beast, right? He's kicking ass, taking names. He has heart, but he gets his ass kicked sometimes, and we want to see him rise back up. Charlotte Flair needs that. She needs to get her ass kicked sometimes, and she needs, once again, we squash potential for up and comers, for talent. I like Rhea Ripley. Just like Drew McIntyre, look at her beginnings. Look where she's at now. I love the rocker look. I love the makeup. I love her size. I love her ability. She is an up and coming star. Nikki Ash, great wrestler. I really like her wrestling. I don't like her gimmick at this moment. I think a lot of people don't. Some people do. But you still squat. I said that she was going to win the match because I felt like they were going to do the underdog story where she wins the match. The surprise that, oh my God, yes, I can stand toe-to-toe with the great Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. But did they do that? Hell no, they did not do that. They didn't do that. They let Charlotte Flair win this match. The match itself was great. I actually really loved this match. This was a great... Charlotte does this fantastic corkscrew kind of move off the turnbuckles into Rhea Ripley and Nikki Ash. Nikki Ash has some fantastic spots as well. Rhea Ripley has this great momentum going again, really rocking Charlotte in the towards the end of the match. The great double DDT was awesome. The teamwork with Ash and Ripley was awesome. I love Charlotte Flair's finisher. I love the finger four. I just don't like the outcome. I don't like the outcome. It just, once again, putting a superstar back on the title. What's the whole point of Nikki Ash winning that damn title? What was the whole point? Is she going to come back and win it? Because I don't want to see that after SummerSlam. She should have won it at SummerSlam or retained it. If not, then you give the belt back to another person of what's the point of them getting a title? Rhea Ripley. You have buried, again, two potential great talents. And don't give me that crap of we're going to come back to it. We're building it later. SummerSlam was later. SummerSlam was their time to shine. There was no reason for Charlotte to win that belt. She did her job. She came in. She freaking rocked the match. She did everything she can. Vet wrestlers put people over. She should have put people over. I'm very disappointed with the outcome. I am sad. I am absolutely... I love the match, though. That's the problem. I really liked the match. It was super entertaining. It worked. I didn't think it was going to work, but it worked. But the outcome is horrible. That is not good storytelling. That is absolutely not good storytelling. And Nikki Ash, yes, she was in the match, but she should have had more shine, though. She should have had more spots, honestly. So I'm gonna give the overall match. I'm gonna give it a B+. But I'm absolutely livid that Charlotte Flair won that match though. And I love Charlotte Flair. I'm a big fan of Charlotte Flair, but absolutely she should have never won that match. One of the other two should have won the match. Sandra, I know you're passionate about this one too.
Oh yeah. So I've been a Nikki Cross fan since NXT, and just like German said, I love when she was crazy. I love when she was with like
Oh yeah.
her posse, and she was like she you
I,
couldn't stop her. She was a Tasmanian devil.
I'm gonna
I
say there
love that.
was a little bit of that. There was a little bit of that in the match when she was in the outside. She did get a little
Correct.
crazy, a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
What I don't like is that they're doing now a mockery of the belt. The belt is being passed along every week. Like, okay, who's next? You want a belt? You want a belt? You want? It's like, okay, there's no more. It's no more having like, okay, when you're given the belt, that's like a blessing. You are the next superstar. Like, how long did it take Ric Flair to get 16 belts? 40 years? She has already what? 11 in like 5
Yeah,
years?
because
This is a mockery.
they took some of the belt titles away from her because of what was it? It was because they erased one of the belts or whatever, something like that.
But still, it doesn't matter. Stop doing this, first of all. Second of all, I'm going to bring back the point that you had before, getting kicked, getting beat up, getting it. Why do you think Rhea is such a fan favorite, other than her looks and she's a great wrestler? Because she gets beat up, she gets kicked, she loses and everything,
She's the
and
underdog. Yes.
and that's what people want.
Yes.
But there is a limit to getting kicked out every freaking time, every freaking week, every time against Charlotte. Let's move on from that. I like you, Charlotte. She's a natural. Yes, she is a natural. But it's getting boring. It's getting like, oh my God, I've seen that already 17 times. Move on. Let's do something different. Like, I'm the queen, I'm the best, blah, blah, blah. One thing I did not like, because, again, that's the way the booking here, and that's, again, the storyline is taking Nikki and putting her out the ring like she was trash. I did not like that. I know it's just because it goes with the character. I did not like that. Every time she put her hands on Nikki was to throw her out of the ring like, we don't need you for the match. I
That's why
did
I thought
not
she was
like
gonna
that.
win. That's why I thought she was gonna win. You know, storytelling wise, you throw like you said, throwing her like trash. But I'm
Yeah,
not trash. I'm a winner. You know,
correct.
didn't win.
But the thing is, this is, I mean, we can all say that we can be better writer, and then when we get on the spot, maybe we wouldn't be able to. But that's why we have those live streamers to give our opinion.
Yeah.
Booking, writing suck, period. They don't know what to do with their superstar. They have no originality with their writing. They have no originality with their storylines. It's just taking stuff and just like, okay, we're going to recycle it and put it back again. It's like, match wise, awesome match. I love Rhea. Rhea, she kick ass. But I'm done with Charlotte winning again. So what now? Next week, what is it gonna be again? Again, a fight against with Rhea, and she's gonna beat up Rhea. And next pay-per-view, it's like, let's get something else.
And that's the problem too. They always booked Rhea versus Charlotte, like it just got old, you know. I
We're talking another 18 months, because the first time they met was last year at WrestleMania. So are we going? So we're 18 months into the same freaking storyline.
yeah, I know. Um, I think I told you this, and I told Albert this. I told Albert also. The belt nowadays just does not matter. Like it
No.
doesn't matter. It doesn't. I don't give a shit if you're 15-time world champ. It does. Nobody cares about stats. We care about the match. We care about the actual overall match now. Before we cared about the belt, I always cared about who would win the WWE championship. Oh my God, Triple H has the freaking belt. Kurt Angle has the belt. Now we don't care. We just want good ass matches. But there is sometimes where we do care. And this was a particular sometime that I do care. And then another match, which I'll talk about later. But this one was like, because it's a passing of the torch match. It's a belt going to a future superstar match. And we get a little bit more invested. That did not happen last night. Made no sense. Why not? Especially with how short the reign of both these women had the belt. Charlotte Flair having 11 championships, nobody gives a crap. Nikki Cross or Rhea Ripley having a championship, people have some interest in it. I think that should have happened. That makes more sense. I think a lot of people are like, okay, let's see what they could do with it.
And
It was
just
terrible.
to bring that point, and I might be wrong because my memory is bad, but when Rhea won the belt at WrestleMania, there was no Charlotte because that's when she was in her suspension of like 99 days of blah, 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 blah.
MIA. Mm-hmm.
MIA. So why do you give the belt to Rhea and as soon as Charlotte's back, she loses it and now it's Charlotte who has it?
Backstage politics. Well, you know what? Ric Flair left because of the writing and the booking.
Yeah, the politics. Yeah.
I wonder if he felt the same way we felt like, listen, my daughter's awesome, but stop making her win all the time. You're rooting. People are shouting Becky Lynch when you come out. Why do you think that? You know? Why do you think, even though Becky, there was a bad move to give Becky the belt. We'll see what happens later on. We'll see what happens with that. If she becomes a new Charlotte, you know, winning all the time. You got to humble. You got to, you know, I think I'll do this. Okay, lasting impression. Stone Cold, if you think about it, yeah, he was champion, but that dude lost a lot. He lost that belt a lot, especially going against McMahon, because McMahon would screw him over. He lost a lot.
Undertaker got the belt, 3 times in a career of like 40 years?
And he's like the biggest legend ever. He's a legend.
Exactly.
Rey Mysterio, once? Yeah. Eddie Guerrero, once?
Yeah.
So
you don't need the belt to be a superstar.
How are they making these mistakes? How?
Yeah, well, maybe they should hire us.
I'm gonna give it a B plus. I mean, it is a pretty good. I want to argue if it was, you said A in this because it was a great match. It was a great match. It's just the finish once again ruining it. Like I was up high. It was kind of like the Becky Lynch up high, and then when I saw Charlotte was gonna win it, I was like, what the fuck? I went super low.
So you were like my bottle of champagne.
I was flat, definitely flat. Yeah. Okay, let's move. What grade did you give it, Sandra?
I gave him a B.
Okay, I'm gonna give a B plus because it was really good. It was definitely.
It was a good match, but yes.
Yeah.
Now let's go to I'm not gonna hide it. My favorite match of the night.
This might have been match of the night for sure. You know what? This is match, and then I'll agree with you on that. This is an A. It's not a super classic. Not a, Shawn Michaels type classic with Kurt Angle or Bret the Hitman Hart, but it's for the first, was it the first time meeting?
Yes.
It was solid, and it builds up like we want to see more. So Seth Rollins versus Edge. I'm not a fan of Seth Rollins. I don't know how Becky Lynch. I don't know how Seth landed Becky.
Don't go there.
I don't know how that happened.
Don't go there.
I'm a fan of Edge, of course. I love Edge. He came out to the Broods.
That was the best entrance of the night. That's no doubt about it. That was the best entrance.
I need to text Albert and say, like, dude, what's up with your crowd? How did they not fucking go bananas on that?
I went bananas in my living room.
So great, awesome. This, I'm so glad I rewatched the Stone Cold versus Hitman Hart. Not the I Quit match, but it was I think it was SummerSlam. Because I told you, remember, it was a long match. But it was a storytelling match. It started off really slow, a lot of technique. Then it became kind of a brawl. Then it became a best of two worlds with their moves and stuff. You had a lot of cool just back and forth. It really started. It went slow and then it picked up and it just took off. The Edge and Seth Rollins match was exactly like that. It started off slow. Edge was getting his ass kicked through the whole match, but they were building that momentum for him to come right back as Seth. Great freaking spots in this match. Edge doing the spear out the ropes. Seth Rollins had some great spots on here too, especially when he was gonna he was on the turnbuckles and he was gonna land on Edge, but then well, of course they knew that was gonna. He landed on his feet. A lot of kickouts. Edge, the finish was awesome. It was something I didn't think that was gonna happen. I think was it this match? I think it was this match. No, it wasn't this match. No, it was solid. They were fluent throughout the whole match. They were clean. I love Seth selling it, being angry at Edge, going outside the ring. We saw that twice in this event where he hits the announcer's table. Edge having that crazy ass look to him. Like the storytelling was absolutely there. The techniques, the wrestling was there. The finish was there. The kickouts just build that intensity even more. Seth and Edge did a fantastic job. I would even say Seth did a little bit better job because he did most of the work. Him really just yelling at Edge, really spitting in his face, basically. This was a hell of a match. A great A grade match. Match of the night for sure.
You have to give credit where it's due. Seth Rollins is a very good wrestler.
Yeah, I just don't like him.
Well, yeah, not everybody likes everybody. Trust me, because we have people we hate, we have people we like, and we have people that we disagree.
But I'm not going to deny his greatness.
He is a great wrestler, and Edge, come on, there's one of the best Canadian. I have to bring in the pride of my country.
How crazy
one of the best Canadian.
How crazy wrestler. Is Ed? Just seeing Edge go old, you know?
It is
because he's old.
Okay, now let's not push it to old. He's not like Ric Flair old.
No, but it's just crazy seeing in his younger when he first started.
Yes, in 2000,
now.
Yes,
and
definitely.
It's crazy to see him, you know, going from tag team to one of like the best, you know, single superstars.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I gonna give my grade right now A+, and just because of the entrance part. So the match is an A, but that entrance and him going back to his roots of the Brood, coming out of the flame, and then switching it to his R-rated theme. Yeah. That was the best.
Awesome theme.
Come on, that was awesome.
He has one of the best themes in the industry.
The whole place went ballistic.
How crazy is Edge getting these pops? Just never would have thought. Just never would have thought. Well, not as big as the pops now are not as big as before.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
But you know what? Edge will always get that pop whenever he comes back. And look at Royal Rumble 2020.
Mm-hmm.
That pop in an arena, that was loud. I was not there, but I can imagine how loud it was just by comments of other people.
I love Edge ferocity. There was one move too when he's like trying to submit Seth Rollins and he's bashing his head on the canvas.
Yes.
That was freaking great, man. That was so good. I mean, that was one of the spots where, okay, Seth Rollins, stop smashing your hand on the mat. It's very obvious you're trying to make the noise.
He did it once at the beginning and then he didn't do it after that.
Then he kind of realized like, oh, this is overselling that too much.
Yes.
Kind of like the leg slap. I saw that a lot this event. I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Okay, the whole pay-per-view was mistake after mistake, and we're not going to bring that up because there was too many to mention.
Yeah. So that goes for every event, you know.
Yeah. But go back to the match. You got two guys who are very good at storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they started slow and they build it up. That's what wrestling is. That is what you need, is a storytelling on the ring with your match.
Edge getting the
You got
victory works too.
it does. It does
Mm-hmm.
because he kept telling him you should have taken your shot when you can because now it's gonna be payback. Is the
See.
whole story about that?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that was the match I was the most excited for the night, and I got what I wanted. And with that entrance, it's a plus for me.
I'm gonna give it an A+ now. It convinced me. It was just it's absolutely everything that you would want in wrestling.
Yes,
You know, people take notes. Charlotte was fantastic in the triple threat match. Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley, but this one was from beginning to end. It was executed.
yes,
I agree. So A+ for that match. Match of the night, in my opinion, and both our opinions. So I
yes,
totally agree. We still got a couple match. This event was so long, 3.5 hours. You said
yes.
too long.
No, actually, it went up to 4 hours
Oh
because
God.
it was supposed to end at 11:30 Eastern Standard Time,
Yeah.
and that was when Goldberg and Lashley ended. So I'm like, okay, now we have another half an hour for sure, and
Well,
that's what
well,
happened.
before Goldberg and Lashley, because oh my God, so there has 4 hours is ridiculous. Either do it a 2 night event or shorten up the damn event. How do you shorten it up? Not having a
Remove the trash.
stupid ass segment with the Miz and what's his name? Shit, I like him.
Morrison.
Morrison. In and then was that I
It
forget
was
his name.
it was oh my god, Xavier Wood.
Yes, coming out doing that little Scott Hall tribute. It was a stupid ass segment. Why do you need this with the water and the water gun? It was
Useless.
dumb. So dumb. I don't remember any pay-per-views back in the day that had stupid shit like that.
The only thing I was thinking about is when in the pre-show they show them driving the truck.
The
I'm like,
truck.
are they gonna? I said, are they gonna do a Stone Cold driving the truck into
Right?
the
I
ring?
thought they were going to do that.
That's what I was going. But then when I saw them in the ring, I'm like, okay, this is useless. I can go like do whatever I want by now because that's gonna be a waste of time.
Exactly. And let's not talk. And then let's no. Let's talk. Another stupid segment that you could have cut was the god damn it, I always forget his name. I have it. What's his name coming out? Guitar solo.
Oh, Boggs, whatever.
Boggs, and
Well, why was he out? Like,
I thought there was gonna be a match, and then Pat
I thought
McAfee's on the table.
Shinsuke was going to fight because that's the reason why you bring whatever Kevin Boggs, whatever his name
Yeah,
is. But no, it was just to have a dance out on the table with Pat McAfee. That was it. That
what?
time you could have given to Bianca and Becky.
Becky, stupid,
Yes.
stupid. Time wasters, could have cut that out. Another big ass time waster. Holy shit. Bobby Lashley comes out. Bobby looking big, Bobby looking mean. I like Bobby. I think Bobby, booking wise could be a good superstar. Then you got crusty ass Goldberg with his music and I'm like, all right, Goldberg's coming out. What? Knocks on the door, get Bill Goldberg's bodyguards. This mofo took 25 minutes just to get in the ring.
No, no, no,
He
no.
walked so
Before
far.
before you go with the walking, tell what I texted you.
What did you say? What did you say?
I told you this is so bad that they don't even have him in a dressing room. The door opens from outside because if you look at the door, it's an emergency door. So You cannot be in a dressing room when the outside is an emergency door pusher. How bad is that?
Cringe. Super cringe. Um,
This is bad.
you know what's funny though? The match wasn't that bad in the beginning. It was okay. I was like, okay, it's fine. I thought this was going to be a super horrendous match. And then it became a horrendous match. Goldberg and Bobby go face to face. I do not like Goldberg. I think he's the most overrated freaking wrestler, if he even is a wrestler. He comes out with a stupid little trying to be badass. If you see Goldberg, there's a couple videos of Goldberg like falling from his like coming out in his entrance, and I never take him seriously ever again. He's just, I don't know. It's so stupid. I mean, they didn't have him beat Bobby Lashley, but the end of this match was I was the most confused the whole night with this match. And this is more confusing than the Eva Marie one. Because MVP hits him, right? And then he's just like flopping everywhere like a fish. But I actually thought he was actually injured. It looked like he was actually hurt. And then the referee stopped it. And then Bobby's like, oh, yeah.
Hold on a second before we go any further, because that was probably when I was texting you, so I was not watching the match. Mm-hmm. The only time I left my eyes out is when the referee stopped the match. So what happened between that and the referee stopping the match?
So Goldberg was towards the corner, and Bobby, I think, was distracting the referee. I can't remember that particular part. But MVP gets his cane and he whacks him towards the knee area. And then they kind of start wrestling again. And I think Goldberg kind of remembered, oh yeah, I got whacked by the knee. And then he goes down, but he sold it pretty good because I thought he was actually really injured. And then they stopped the match, and then Bobby Lashley went off on him. Then I'm like, okay, clearly he's not really injured. So he goes off on Goldberg with the chair shots, and then the most funniest freaking thing when Goldberg's son comes jumping in the ring like a spider monkey, and then he gets what's Bobby Lashley's move where he makes a pass out, the stranglehold or whatever.
Yes.
It's terrible. And then Goldberg coming in here, crawling to his son, and then going on top of him like he's like a lioness protecting their cub or something like that. It's so dumb. I laughed so hard because the execution, the look of it was terrible. The ending of the match, I was like, why? What is this? What are you doing? Are you really going to end the match like this? Really? Terrible.
So I think the whole Gage Goldberg, when he gets like put in the hole, that was a tribute to China when she did that to Terry Runnels back in the 90s. When she took her and she was using her like a doll. I think that's what as soon as I saw that move, I thought about China and Terry Runnels, because it was like, this is definitely useless.
But Jermaine says the ref had to stop the match. Jermaine, I don't think he was really hurt. At first I thought he was, but when Bobby Lashley gets the chair and actually starts smashing him over the leg, I think that was planned. So I think
it's just because they need to stop the match because A, it was getting too long, and B, Goldberg was not going to get the belt. So the only way they could end the match without Goldberg losing the match was to do that.
It's ridiculous. This stupid wrestling politics, and it's just so stupid. So stupid. This is not real, people. As much as I like WWF and WWE, this is not real. Your stats, whether you get pinned or not, it just depends on your craft, your art, your matches. Goldberg, do you really think you losing affects your career? Because I could tell you right now, it doesn't. Stupid. And when you got freaking wrestlers like Hulk Hogan calling these endings, you get writers who are just like, well, making the most ridiculous stuff up. And And if they think it's ridiculous, and we see that it's ridiculous, then it's pretty ridiculous. It was a dumb, stupid ending, and the match wasn't even that great. An F.
I agree.
Yeah.
Let's carry on to the main event.
Okay, we're done, people. We're done with this. Is the last match. I called it wrong because it makes more sense storyline wise, surprise wise, I should say. It what doesn't make it more as predictable. And guess what? You can have the belt change the next night because we've seen that before, or in 2 weeks, or another pay per view event.
Or just
We
drop it because you're retiring, or you're injured, or you're pregnant. But that would not work in this case. Pregnancy would not work.
Jermaine saying it real quick. If Bobby would have went to '90s Goldberg, Bobby would have no chance of winning. Goldberg, like I said, was just there to beat up guys in like less than a minute, and that was it. Bobby, like the way the WCW had Goldberg, WCW is the one that built up Goldberg. Goldberg didn't build up Goldberg.
Well, he
WCW
went
made
like
sure.
171 and 0.
That's WCW and Eric Bischoff. You know who's better than Goldberg? Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane. Way more entertaining, way better. Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho you don't even get me started on the Chris Jericho wanted a feud and that would have worked, but Goldberg's crusty ass didn't want that feud because he was getting tired of being made fun of. Oh God, get out of here. Sorry, Jermaine. I went on a little rant
We
there.
need we need a whole episode on Jericho. So put that into your calendar.
I need a whole episode on Goldberg to tell you why he's not good. I'll make a video. How's that? I have videos that I need to do. That's gonna be one of them. Why Goldberg sucks. Okay, so let's get back to the main event. But I'll say Goldberg is an injury waiting to yeah. So Roman Reigns versus John Cena. Big main event. Sandra, when John Cena came out, I was like, dude, his arms are just as when he left, huge, but his body is very thinner. Like he's very thinner right here. It was very kind of like, I don't know. I couldn't get that out of my mind. And his hair, what the fuck was with his hair? The back of it looked like he was balding, but I think it was just a spot. I don't know.
Well, you have to remember he is in the movie business, so if he need hair in a movie, he needs hair in a movie.
I guess I don't remember Peacemaker having that type of hair. So he comes out. Roman Reigns comes out. I was kind of bored in the first.
Hold on. Before we go any further into the match, I have to say, as soon as they did the recap of the storyline, I had time to wash my dishes, change into my PJs. I opened my bed, took the comforters out, put my nightlight on. I went back to the couch. I settled down, and Roman didn't even finish his intro music.
Yeah, Roman took forever. John Cena did not take forever. Roman took forever. He was just walking, like really walking very slow down that ramp. We get into the match though. It's kind of boring. It's a lot of Roman Reigns kicking John Cena's ass. I don't know if that was because, John Cena has been out of the game for a while. So Roman had to take, I think so. I think Roman had to take, it reminded me a lot of The Rock and Stone Cold's last match at WrestleMania, where Stone Cold physically wasn't there because he was in a hospital, but The Rock had to take more of the burden on his shoulder, right? He had to work the match more.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of reminded me, but Stone Cold and The Rock, of course, made it work, and they're really good. Stone Cold did put in some work in there. With Cena wasn't like, Cena was getting his ass kicked the whole time. It was all Roman. It was all Roman talking smack. It was kind of boring in the beginning, but like Edge and Seth, I think there were overall a better flow I think the Cena and Roman Reigns wasn't a very good flow until it starts hitting where Cena does come back, and the match starts getting more entertaining. Because you know why? Because the crowd gets into it. The crowd gets into it. You see Cena fight back. You see Cena doing what's his move? His finisher move. Quite. He
Yeah,
did the five
is
knuckles. A,
a
a
something.
something. On the chat, let me know what Cena's finishing, rightfully finishing move is. He did the five knuckle. He attempted the five knuckle first, and then I think he got into a submission, but he was able to land the five knuckle later on. So you started to you see the back and forth. You see a lot of you started to see some bumps, especially
Attitude adjustment.
attitude adjustment. There we go. So the attitude adjustment, he hits it, dude. He hits it like 3 times. I think this match. He hits it, and once again, building that intensity, building that momentum. I was like, shit, my boy John Cena gonna win this. He kicked Roman Reigns kicks out a lot in this match, but it builds it right. I think it makes people go, okay, is Roman really gonna lose this? You start kind of feeling that a little bit, especially when he goes through the table, the top turnbuckle. But I knew he wasn't going to lose it because the last 5 minutes, he still hasn't hit his spear. I was like, he hasn't hit the spear yet.
I thought one of the best part of the game, the match was when he did the attitude adjustment from the third buckle.
That was
That
great.
was awesome.
That was great. But I really like the table because he landed perfectly on the table.
Yeah.
Like it was a perfect break. It was a perfect angle. The way Roman was laying on it, I love that spot.
And also, you have to have trust into your guy that you're working with,
Yeah.
because John Cena is a strong man to be able to handle a Roman Reigns on your back and make him do like a adjustment from the turnbuckle. Like
Roman,
that is freaking a lot of weight on your shoulders.
Roman 265, I believe, muscle. When he was attempting that, I was like, shit, this can go really bad. And then we're us, the audience, when we were seeing a lot of these guys on the turnbuckles, we now, especially older audience, we see that they're setting up. We see the setup, right? Yeah. We see them waiting till they get in position.
Yes.
So by all means, you see it, but you're not really taken out of it because you don't want these guys to get hurt and you want the move to be clean. It's kind of like the NBA dunk contest where take your time. I don't want to see it the second time you redoing it. I want you to land this dunk the first time. So Cena was able to land a lot of these spots, and I give him kudos because sometimes it did seem like he was struggling a little bit, but he was able to land the turnbuckles, the table, and just overall, just in the ring, he was able to do these spots, which was great. So that was good. Now, I think I absolutely believe John Cena should have won this title. At first, I thought he should have won this title because it's a surprise. It's a big that to cap your SummerSlam with John Cena. So we don't talk about, like you said, sometimes the belts just don't matter. They don't matter. But in particular moments like this one and the Charlotte Flair, the belt does matter. And I think John Cena having the belt, I didn't care about his stats. I just wanted him to beat Roman. And he just happened to have the belt. If it wasn't the belt, they probably would have had John Cena win that. But because of the belt, they didn't have John Cena win it. But you could relinquish, like we said, your title the next day or in an upcoming pay-per-view event. John Cena would probably be good with that, to just let it go the next night. You could have had a Mick Foley type stuff, but okay. Yeah. But I understand now because John Cena loses, which I thought it was the wrong move at the moment. It was a good match. I'll give the match an overall, I'll give it a solid B. If that beginning was a lot better and it flowed better, I would, and I don't know. It wasn't a classic, right? No,
No.
I'm giving it a B plus because the crowd really got into it, and I really love when a crowd gets into it, and it gets me into it. So I'll give it a B plus. I can't go A. I can't go A. But I think it would have been an A match if John Cena won. But I got to retract that because they set up. Even I didn't think he was. I was like, whoa! I didn't even expect this shit, and it was a good, nice surprise. Even though I hate him, but I think it was a nice cap to the night. Um, Big Brock Lesnar comes out with this Viking look, a meme for everybody. He comes out, music plays, and a potential setup for, basically they're setting up for Roman Reigns versus Brock. You remember
Yeah.
Paul Heyman is on Roman Reigns' corner when he used to be with Brock. So that's interesting. I like that. They cut it. They cut the event, but Brock Lesnar uh, does
F5.
nail on John Cena
Yeah.
at the end of the pay per view. But no, when Brock came out, I was like, that's a nice, good surprise. I like that. I thought that was great. I knew Becky was coming out. I didn't think Brock was coming out. It would have been absolutely nuts. That building would have fell if The Rock came out. Because I know they're trying to set The Rock and Roman Reigns. I think it fell through, but that wasn't. So I will retract the John Cena win because I do think, okay, you did bring Brock out. That's nice setup for a potential match, and okay. But I will give it a B plus match because it did build, and I like the build at the end, and there was a great spots on it. I can't go away though. The crowd was into it. I did enjoy the last match, but of course, Edge and Seth Rollins takes match of the night for me.
Yes. So I'm okay with the match. There was too much Roman Reigns like bad mouthing and just walking around. I know it's all about the storytelling, but there's storytelling and just like wasting time because that it was already like late. Like, can we cut a little bit of that bullshit walking around and just
Yeah,
like that was too much. But in
pacing
the
all
end,
over the place.
yes, exactly. So the match I was okay. I'm gonna steal Dark Society's comment here, and I am not a Brock Lesnar fan whatsoever. Never liked him. I always dug him as a part timer, especially the second time he came back. The first time he was okay. Second time I called him a part timer because he just show up whenever he wants. But I have to admit, the way he came out last night, he looked good. And that's very hard for me to say for somebody who doesn't like the guy.
Can't
He
stand him,
looked good.
but he did look
What
good.
I am very looking forward to is the fact that he has no promo skill whatsoever. The reason why he
A
was
lot of
paired
people
with
pointed that out.
the
Yes.
reason why he was paired with Paul Heyman is because Heyman has the mouth and Brock Lesnar has the muscles.
Yeah.
Now that Paul Heyman is with Roman Reigns, how are we gonna make any promo working when Brock cannot cut a promo to save his life?
Bring Sable
That's what I'm
back.
interested into.
Bring his wife back, Sable.
No, please, no,
No,
no, I
no,
don't
they're
want
not
any
gonna do
puppies.
that.
I'm done with the puppies.
Um, no, Brock looked great, but the memes are pretty hilarious. But I did enjoy that moment where he came out. I was like, that's a good way to cap it off. Um, so SummerSlam as a whole. I've seen a lot of pay-per-views in my day with WWE, WWF. I can't recall any of them where they were just solid every match. There's always like some match that's not that great.
Correct.
It's what you bank on is the main matches to be really really good, and then sometimes you get matches that are just history in the making. TLC match, you know, of course my favorites were Rock versus Stone Cold. Love them. Kane versus Undertaker. Like you get classic matches. You know, you're and but I think as a whole pay per view most of the time it's kind of usually sometimes more good and a little bit bad. This one was more bad, in my opinion. Was a little bit more bad than the good. Uh, Matches that just were kind of okay. Segments that were useless. The 4 hours, too much, way too much. And like you said, you get to the main event and you're already tired. And then a lot of like the Bobby Lashley and Goldberg could have been a main event, even though the match is horrible. But technically, name wise, could have been a main event. Edge and Seth Rollins could have been up there. A lot of these matches could have been up there. So like the Big E match, I didn't need that. I didn't need that. The Alexa Bliss, I didn't need that. So there's matches that just took the time away from a potential Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair 3-minute match. The SummerSlam, for all the hype and everybody saying Vince McMahon wanted to make this the WrestleMania of this year, because WrestleMania, in my opinion, was a bust. This was not that great. It's not terrible. I think The Rock one time when he hosted WrestleMania, I remember that being terrible. This one, SummerSlam, it wasn't that great. But there was a little bit of here and there where I really enjoyed. But for the whole event, I was like, there was one spot too I didn't say about. I think it was Roman Reigns and John Cena, and was it John Cena got a lock on Roman, and it was supposed to look like a submission hold, and it looked absolutely terrible. Or
The
maybe
one
even,
that Roman, the only thing he thought about is to remove the hair of his face.
yeah,
Yeah.
or even the Rhea Ripley submission. I don't buy it.
Or when or when Charlotte put herself into the Rhea's move before Rhea actually picked her up, so she was laying on the floor already with her legs ready for Rhea to pick up. Yeah, I picked that one up anyways. Um Pay-per-view wise, and Jermaine, yes, we covered Becky and Bianca. We started the live stream with
Right
that
from the beginning. So when this
because that
uploads,
was, yes,
you
that
can
was
go back.
the biggest one because we were both really upset about that match.
Absolutely wanted to talk about that first. So once we're
But
done here, you could actually start the video from the beginning and you can watch that
and that's
segment.
where we start. So for me, what I really consider if it's a good pay-per-view or a bad pay-per-view is having the main event and I don't know who's gonna win. And for the past year, I've known every ending of every pay-per-view because Roman Reigns headlined every single one of them, and I knew he was going to win. So for me, that is a bust to start with. The only one that I did not know was Bianca and Sasha at night one of WrestleMania. That's the one I did not know.
Oh, I called that.
But but I don't like a pay-per-view that you know who's gonna win. And I told Jermaine last night, I'm like, Cena's not winning, unfortunately. I would have put Edge against Seth Rollins as a main event. That would have been my ending of the night, and that would have made the pay-per-view a little bit better. But in all, I would say it was just probably a B pay-per-view for me.
Yeah. I'm gonna give it a C plus.
Okay, we're right there next to each other.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C plus. Yeah, it just wasn't anything. I thought it should have been better. Should have been better.
Yeah, oh for sure. And you know what? If it would have been a 3-hour pay-per-view, I would have even be better.
Yeah. You gotta cut that time. You gotta cut that time. So that was SummerSlam. We don't know where WWE's, because I'm hearing Vince he's hearing offers to maybe sell it. You have AEW coming up. You got CM Punk back in there. So there's a lot of wrestling to talk about for sure in the future. But we wanted to talk about this pay-per-view event. We both watched it. In the comments, let me what did you guys think about it? 1 to 5, would you give it a 5 or a 1? You know? What did you think? What did you think about this pay per view? Would like to know. What's the next pay per view event, or what's the next event for wrestling
Uh,
or WWE?
Crown Jewels, I think, is the one.
Okay,
Crown Jewels and Extreme Rules, I think, are the two next ones.
okay, okay. So maybe we'll probably cover that. Apparently we both got Peacock the app, so we can watch
Well,
that.
we don't have Peacock in Canada, but I have the WWE Network, so that's how
Oh,
I get
okay.
my
You're still okay.
pay-per-views.
Okay, I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's our thoughts on the SummerSlam. It's going to be intriguing to see where some storylines from here go. They got to get better. WWE's got to get better. The ratings are going down. I think the ratings will pick up because Becky Lynch is back, Brock Lesnar. They're banking on that. You can't bank on your old stars though. You have to you have to make way for the future. It's like an NFL team. They draft for the future. So if you're squashing potential, you're not going anywhere. You're dying. And Sandra, there might be a day where we sit here and we go, this was the day that WWE died. Maybe. Hopefully, I don't want to see that happen though. I think it's a good product for the new generation, and I think there's a lot of potential here. Yes, NXT is tonight. I won't be watching that because I'm not too big of a fan of NXT. I know there's a lot of potential good wrestlers there. I don't got time for that. I'd rather go watch a movie or a TV show. I still got to do Snowfall, and then of course I still
You
got to make.
haven't done that yet?
No, I watched The Witcher. Sorry, and The
And you
Witcher
know
season
what?
two's
At
coming out.
least I'm now getting into your whole Marvel. I started the Marvel
There we
series. Before the live stream, I just finished Thor Ragnarok.
yeah.
And tonight I'm doing Ant-Man and the Wasp. So I'm getting there.
I think I'm going to have Albert. He was able to do a special screening at IMAX to see. He saw Shang-Chi. So I'm hoping I'm gonna hit him up and see if he could do a reaction video and just give the overall thoughts on the film because he saw it and I'm so jelly. And then of course I got to do the Goldberg sucks video because you guys need to explain. You guys need to feel my rage on this freaking wrestler. Me and my uncles went back and forth back in the day. They were WCW, I was WWF. But that's another video all the time. And of course, a lot of people from who love Sons of Anarchy. I know you guys are waiting for some. There's some things coming. It's just taking some time, but we're gonna get some videos out there. But this channel is all about everything. We will be talking about wrestling in the future, Sandra. I know we did an Undertaker take. We did Rivals. You guys could go check out those videos. That's part 1 of the Rivals. So we talked some Rivals in the wrestling history. We'll probably do a part 2. I think next video we'll see where the wrestling world's going, and we'll probably talk about where the company is headed. A&W. I think we need to talk about CM Punk, and eventually Daniel Bryan when he comes in. So look forward to that. Thank you guys for listening. Subscribe to the channel. Like the video because it helps the algorithm. Also share on your Facebook, Instagram, Dan Demand reviews. I'm here always with Sandra. I got Taylor. I got Chase. I got Marvel Albert. We cover pretty much everything. You name it, we'll probably cover it. Just to make an announcement too, I am starting a second channel that just has to do with Funko Pops and figurines because my God, I'm into that crap. And there's a lot of I know way too much in my brain about all this stuff. And I was like, okay, I'll do a second channel for that. That will happen later on. So thank you, Sandra, for joining me. Until next,
Thank you.
next time we talk. And of course, the next pay-per-view, we'll see how it goes, right?
We will.
All right. So thank you guys. I'm Dan Omega Danielson, and we are out of here.